Chapter 4, The Fractured Memory. Sector 6 looked even worse in daylight. Gray concrete slumped under decades of chemical rain. Advertising screens buzzed and flickered, their colors running like old paint. A steady drizzle slicked the streets, coating the gutters with oil and broken promises. Tessa Monroe moved through the alleys, hood low, breathing slow. She wasn't running. Not yet. But she didn't belong here, and if the grid caught even a hint of her real identity, Sector 6 would become a cage she wouldn't escape. It had taken most of the morning, but she found her. The woman from the surveillance still. She was older than the picture suggested, mid-40s maybe, wearing a threadbare coat and pushing a battered supply cart toward one of the ration depots. Tessa circled ahead, blocking her gently without seeming obvious. "Hey," she said quietly, adjusting the scratchy scarf around her face. "You dropped this." She held out a ration token, one she'd palmed earlier. The woman blinked, confused, cautious. Tessa leaned in just enough for her voice to carry without being heard beyond them. "You saw him, didn't you? The man at the terminal 2 days ago." The woman's face tightened immediately. She pulled the cart closer, eyes darting around the street like prey expecting a hawk. "I don't want trouble," she muttered. "You won't get it," Tessa said. "But I need to know. What you saw, what you recognized." The woman hesitated, torn between fear and the faint, desperate memory of trust. Finally, her voice cracked free, barely a whisper. "He's dead. Or he's supposed to be." Tessa kept her face neutral, her heart suddenly pounding. "How do you know him?" The woman's eyes shivered sideways, toward the ever-watching cameras overhead. 5 years ago, she said. His face was everywhere. The news, the broadcasts, they said he betrayed the grid. He worked for them. Helped build it, they said. Tessa's stomach twisted. "What's his name?" But the woman was already backing away, hands clutching her cart. "No more. You didn't hear it from me." She was gone within seconds, swallowed by the gray tide of Sector 6. Tessa turned and walked the opposite direction, forcing herself not to move too fast, not to stand out. Inside, her mind raced. Built the grid? Framed? Disappeared? She ducked into a service alcove and pulled the old recorder from inside her jacket, thumbing it on with shaking fingers. Into the static she whispered. Subject is former grid architect. Publicly condemned 5 years ago. Presumed dead. Now resurfaced. She pocketed the recorder and breathed deep against the knot of anxiety tightening in her ribs. The grid was built on lies. Tessa knew that better than anyone. But this was something worse. Something buried deeper. Across the city, far from Sector 6. Nathan Camble moved silently through the drainage access tunnels beneath Sector 8. His boots splashed in shallow filth, jacket drawn tight against the cold, recycled air. Every night he shifted locations. Never sleeping twice in the same bed. Never lighting the same fire twice. The city was a living machine above him, blind, deaf, fatally certain of its own invincibility. He was the infection eating through its bones. Nathan surfaced near a broken warehouse near the old freight district, slipping into the shell of a structure forgotten by zoning committees decades ago. He'd stay there, for a few hours. Until the next move. Until the next night. The virus needed time. And if he stayed visible too long, the world would never get its chance to wake up. Tessa pulled her hood lower, her breath misting in the rain. The trail was growing colder. Whoever he was. Wherever he was going. He was already 3 steps ahead. But that didn't matter. Tessa had found harder truths before. And she wasn't about to stop now. Not when the pieces were starting to fit together. No matter how broken they were.